Proverbs 17:3. The fining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but the Lord trieth the hearts. Silver and gold are isolated from ore and made better by fire. Heat burns away the dross, and base metals to leave pure silver or gold, fit for a jeweler. Proverbs 25:4 speaks of this as, take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer. Only the Lord can prove and purify your heart in such a way, by using the fiery furnace of afflictions and trials. 1 Peter speaks of this in chapter 1, verse 7, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ. God uses the furnace of affliction to try our faith by adversity. In Isaiah 48:10, he says, Behold, I have refined thee, not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. He uses the furnace of infirmity to build reliance on his grace. Remember these words in 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9 and 10. And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses, for Christ's sake, for when I am weak, then am I strong. God also uses the furnace of temptation to measure our obedience. In Hebrews 11:17 through 19, it says, By faith Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac. And he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that God was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. Sometimes he uses the furnace of prosperity or praise to measure our humility and our priorities. Consider this. In Deuteronomy 32:15 it says, But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God which had made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. In Proverbs 27:21, it says, As the fining pot for silver, and the furnace for gold, so is a man to his praise. However God uses the fire, it is to purge us, to perfect us. Romans 5, verse 3, 4, and 5 says, And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope, and hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Ghost which is given unto us. And then in Hebrews 12, verse 10 and 11 says, For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby.